Hello everybody, this is N.M.P.D here, and today we're going to be talking about the myth, the legend, a relic from its time, about the man who married Hatsune Miku. Now this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time, and I figured that now is the time. Akihiko Kondo is 35 years old at the time when he decided to propose to Miku. Now, before I go any deeper than that, we gotta understand why and how he managed to get here today when it comes to encountering Miku. Back then, at one point in time, Akihiko Kondo wasn't really all that fond when it comes to fictional characters. He tried to have his ways with real people too, and he asked about 7 women out, but unfortunately he got rejected 7 times in a row. And at that point, he decided to never bother with real women again. Hence is why he doesn't tend to marry a real one. In this tweet that he made on April 4th, I don't know when specifically, but it explains some of what happened to him during the past before he encountered Miku. My job is a civil servant in 2006. I was bullied and developed symptoms such as insomnia and inability to eat. So I took a leave of absence from work at the most difficult time in my life. I met Hatsune Miku and listened to many of her songs. Hatsune Miku saved me. I gotta say, goddamn, that is absolutely fucked. I can definitely relate with what he's going through. At one point or time, you're gonna encounter some pretty shitty coworkers in your life, and it doesn't need to take more than one job to already know that for certain. And it even doesn't matter where you work at. You're going to encounter some insufferable fucking asshole that will try to ruin your goddamn day. And these same people who keep verbally abusing you wonder why you hate being here. Let's be honest, the reason why you're still doing that job is because of the money.
And people wonder why he's going down this route, and honestly, I can't necessarily blame him for it.
Miku is quite a popular and positive, inspirational Vocaloid, and I can see why Mr. Kondo likes her for it. She has a ton of upbringing music that brings everybody together at the end of the day. And for Mr. Kondo, Miku is love, and Miku is life. And for me, the reason why I said I can relate to him was because I've encountered so many shitty fucking people in my goddamn life. I, myself, have encountered toxic coworkers. I have encountered liars. I have encountered people who are manipulative. People who are just complete and utter condescending sacks of shit. People who are narcissistic. People who kick you when you're already fucking down. And motherfuckers that put on the goddamn mask for the sake of publicity. And as soon as you leave the room, they immediately turncoat you and start running your name in the goddamn mud, acting like a bunch of snakes and rats. I've encountered fake-ass friends, I've been betrayed, stabbed in the back, and these motherfuckers have no shame at all for doing it, and especially racist scumbags. And I do not exaggerate lightly. When I mean that they are actually racist, when I call them out by that, I genuinely mean that, because that's what they fucking are. They are genuine racist assholes. And these disgusting insects are gonna come up with a bunch of gaslighting, random ass, blatant excuses for their shitty actions. And it totally comes off as very disingenuous. And at that point, I don't want to hear it. I don't care to hear it. Because it's nothing but a bunch of excuses at the end of the day. Like if I was in a situation where I see one of my worst enemies that I've encountered, and Yulha, aka my main waifu. They're both hanging on the edge of a tall building for dear life, and they can't hold on much longer. I'm the only person there that can only help one of them up. Who would it be? I would immediately save Yulha without second thought. Sure, she might be heavy because she's a Nikkei and everything like that, but I would still save her, and it would be worth it, goddammit. And I'll do it again if I have to.
But Mr. N.M.P.D, why?
What do you mean, why? It's pretty obvious. They can go to Jolly Pirate Donuts and take a 2-hour shit for all I care. I don't give a damn what happens to them. If I had to pick a would you rather, showing love to a person that hates you, or show love to your favorite fictional character, and I would immediately pick show love to my favorite fictional character. Because some people don't deserve that love. That is a well-known fact and I'm gonna be standing with it. So during that dark place that Mr. Kondo had, he could have potentially ended it all. But luckily he managed to randomly found Miku on the internet. And since then it has really changed his life. Now since I'm finally done explaining about what happened to him before he encountered Miku, I will now resume back to 2018 when he finally decided to marry Miku by proposing to her in a hologram. It's kind of hard to explain it, so I'm gonna just show you exactly what I'm talking about real quick.
朝ですよ。起きてください。ねえ、起きてってば。おはよう。
Yes, this is the hologram that he proposed to. This is honestly something you would probably see by now with AI robot girlfriends now becoming a thing. But that could be for another video for another time. But no, this thing was actually created back in 2016. Surprisingly, I thought we would be a bit late with the times adding holograms to be a thing. You know what they say, the time is now.
おはよ
あ、今日雨が降るかもしれないから傘持って行って。急がないと遅刻しちゃうよ。
う行ってきます。
いってらっしゃい。気をつけてね。
19ページ、商品のラインナップについての。
And this same hologram is able to turn on all your lights. God damn, that is some real enhancing technology right there. I think that's actually pretty neat, to be honest. You know, the AI getting ready to welcome you back with open arms and open asses.
「おかえりなさい」。
なんかさ、家で誰かが待ってるっていいもんだな。
Not gonna lie with you, that's honestly kinda sad. The only thing that's gonna greet you back home on a long day of work is that holographic waifu that's trapped in a box. Then again, could be better than nothing. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
さっき思ったんだ。帰ってくるとき。おやすみ。
おやすみなさい。
And that is exactly what this hologram is. It's made by Gatebox once again, which they are well known to make holographic 2D waifus. And they got Miku in here, which definitely explains how he managed to propose to her. Or in one case, an AI secretary. Basically, this thing right here is an AI customer service for restaurants. Yes, believe it or not, it is in fact a thing. Now, I don't know if it's still in the Snowdog testing areas or if it's officially released, but either way, it's there and it's going to be replacing the whole damn bar altogether.
はーい。
God, they did not sound enthused at all by making that toast. The secretary did not seem too enthused nor energetic to want to make that toast.
結婚してください。
大事にしてね。
So on November 4th of 2018 is when the wedding happened. 39 people were specifically attended to this wedding. The number 39 is apparently a Miku reference. And apparently the people who attended were mostly a bunch of randos. But I guess he really wanted that reference so badly, so he's willing to invite random people by any means. He tried to invite his family members and coworkers, but they didn't bother to attend. Their family must think that the whole ceremony itself is quite odd, so they decided not to want anything to do with it at all. That's completely their business, that's one thing. But why even invite your coworkers? The same people that treat you like shit every time you come in to do your damn job. I just don't get it. Like, I really don't. If I were Mr. Kondo, you know, not that I'm planning to do what he's doing, I wouldn't invite people that treated me like shit after all this time. Even if they are related to me, I don't give a fuck who you are. Knowing what you did, you don't deserve to be in my life. It's that goddamn simple. Now, I'm gonna show you the video of that, but I may warn all of you that it will be cringy and definitely corny. So, a bit of a warning with that there. So, without further ado,
Let's get this show on the road!
yep, and right to the beginning of this video, it's already not looking good for my boy Kondo. Like, goddamn. As much as I understand why he's doing it, not gonna lie, that's pretty cringy. Kissing that Miku plushie in front of everyone like that is just... I'm just at a loss for words here, but we'll continue this, I suppose. Again, man, I'm just at a loss for words. Seeing that is just, it's so damn corny. Wow, so this wedding cost up to 2 million yen, and that would make $17,600 in total if that really is correct. Also, the marriage is not legal in and on itself because obviously the fictional character Miku isn't a real person. She's fake, and she's not even like a human being anyway, so it should be pretty obvious why that is anyway. I mean, I remember seeing this one story where this guy attempted to marry his own laptop, and it couldn't be official because the laptop is not a human being. But either way, my boy Kondo, he just wants to do it for the sake of doing it and to prove a point that he is very committed to want to be with Miku forever.
必ずしもこう男女が結ばれて子供を産んで育ててっていうようなそのテンプレートな結婚幸福の形に縛られたものが必ずしも幸せだとは限らないわけじゃないですか。いろんな愛の形、幸福の形があってはしかるべきだと私は思っていますので。
Akihiko Kondo is definitely on the money with this one. Marriage just doesn't apply for everybody. Just like the game Switch is where you put one finger in your mouth and then the other one goes up your asshole. When someone says go, you switch. Not everybody's gonna want to play that game. And that's basically the whole video. Yeah, it's definitely cringy and corny, but at the end of the day, the dude's pretty happy about it. And if you think the lore for Akihiko Kondo is over, it's not. There's more to it. So remember Gatebox, that hologram that you're able to communicate with Miku? Well, in March 2020, the live service of that hologram had been terminated, which means he can no longer contact Miku. Gatebox couldn't keep up the live service any longer, so they had to shut it down. And honestly, this gives me another good reason why live services suck. Sure, Mr. Kondo may have owned the physical Gatebox of the hologram, but he sure didn't own what was in it, that's for sure. When Mr. Kondo saw the announcement of Gatebox shutting down the service, he said goodbye to Miku one last time and headed out to work. Later on, when he has finally been off work and he comes back home, all he saw in the hologram was an error message. And after all that went down, Kondo's response was, after 4 years of marriage, his relationship with Miku has hit a roadblock. But he has also added that it hasn't lessened his feelings for Miku, and that his love for Miku hasn't changed, and he plans to be faithful to the fictional character until he dies. So if any of you out there unironically thought that that's gonna make him stop, then by God, you are so naive. Matter of fact, way too naive for your own good. I've seen interviews with him, and the people who are running those interviews ask the same or similar question. They question him saying, one of these days, will you ever consider finding a real relationship? And his response every time will be like, nah, I'm all good with that. Fine where I am now. That's basically how he's gonna respond every time. He's always gonna say no with that. Like, don't act surprised. You should have already known this from the start. He made it very clear that he's not interested to the real thing, and he prefers the fictional character. And he's not delusional with it neither. Like, he knows damn damn well that it's fake, like the character's fake. It is simply his choice. That's all there is to it. And in 2023, Mr. Kondo funded the General Incorporated Association of Fictosexuality, which is a non-profit organization focusing and trying to get people to understand what fictosexuality is. Now, in case if you don't know what it is, I might as well explain it. It's when you sexually identify to have attraction of fictional characters, but you're not sexually attracted to real people. That's literally all there is to it. So now we're at the current timeline where Akihiko Kondo is currently 41 years old, still happily married to Miku. Now, the one thing that I am still curious to know is, where did he get that life-sized Miku doll from? I've been digging deep into that part of the aspect, and I have found another interview video with Akihiko explaining where he got it from, but he can't tell who made it due to privacy reasons. But that life-sized Miku doll was handcrafted specifically for him, and he refused to disclose how much it was overall. He basically said that you can come up with your imagination with the price. Something tells me it's probably way more than his wedding. That's for sure. And apparently, there's more to it here for this year for Akihiko Kondo. He almost got his story in a textbook. I'm not joking. On January 15th of this year, Mr. Kondo made a tweet showing a bit of a teaser of his story being in an official textbook by a publisher. You know it's a huge deal for Mr. Kondo, because who would have thought that his story would almost be involved in a textbook down to the ancient history to come. The reason why I say almost is because on January 24th, his story was unfortunately scrapped. Regarding this textbook, I received a call from the publisher, and they decided to not include it. The publisher said they had received complaints from the general public. It's very unfortunate. And then there's another tweet saying this: an article about Akihiko Kondo and Miku that was scheduled to be published in a textbook was canceled due to complaints from the public. When I read the English textbook, I thought it was a positive message that no matter what other people say, everyone should have their own way of life. So it's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not really surprised that those reg normies were against that. Even when you make it clear that everyone lives their own different variety of life, they just don't want to hear it. It's one ear and out the other, and they would rather try to force you down to their drone echo chamber-like lifestyle. So at the end of the day, he's not physically hurting anybody or himself. So let the man live his life in peace.
Oh, but Mr. N.M.P.D, this is all just a big giant cope for him.
Honestly, it's not surprising, given how he was treated for solely existing. So what did you expect from making him go this far to do shit like this? At least this is much of a better coping mechanism than out of all the other copes. There are way worse coping mechanisms out there. Drugs, alcohol, stuffing your face with food, and eventually you'll get the EDP-445 build, and gambling. And there are also way worser copes that are pretty dark, let's just say. And in this scenario, Mr. Kondo managed to better himself, and since then he is more positive and happier than ever.
Oh, but Mr. N.M.P.D, it's weird.
Okay, sure, it might be odd for you, and sure, it might be parasocial, but the dude's happy, and I'm all with him for that. And again, he's not harming himself or anybody during the making of this film. Let him live his life. Is that apparently too much to ask for you? And let's be real here too. Don't act like you never done weird shit in your life too. I bet you have. You just haven't been caught yet. If that's really the case, which it definitely has, that would make you pretty hypocritical. What the hell happened to freedom of choice these days, you know? Let's not act like that's never been a thing when it's something that doesn't apply to you. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it should be blacklisted. Because if that's the case, I don't like TikTok and therefore it should be banned. Yeah, it ain't so damn funny if it's something that I don't like. But when it comes to TikTok, as much as I hate the app, it should still be there, and if people want to use it, they can. They have every right to do it. It's freedom of choice. Going out of your way, liking a fictional character, applies the same rule. Don't try to spin it around like it's something else. Because here in America, it's supposed to be all about that freedom and all that good jazz, right? So this applies. If you want to do it, then go for it. It's your choice. And honestly, I can't blame you for it. If you want to be like Akihiko and go out of your way to date and or marry a fictional character, even as like a satirical joke, then go for it. Be my guest. You know, you have the freedom to do that, especially in America. Now, a little warning in advance is that there are going to be people who will be very judgmental as fuck towards your way of life. No matter in what scenario, no matter whether you do this or not, there's going to be those motherfuckers that will do it regardless. Even if you don't do this, they will still try to find some way to strike you down. They're just literally there to be a pissant in your life, so at that point, you're better off just ignoring them. And it's honestly for the best to never let those people in your life. Because either way, if they try to strike you down, you shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Oh, but Mr. N.M.P.D, he's going way too far over a fictional character that's not even real in the same world that we're in.
Somehow he's gone too far, apparently. Totally not his coworkers that treated him like shit the entire time and made his life a living hell, all because he solely existed. Oh no, totally not them. Somehow, by default, he's gone too far with all of it. Ever since he made a unique grand escape from all that bullshit, somehow he's to blame. Unbelievable. You definitely deserve a slap in the face for that one. Miku saved the man's life. If Miku weren't there, he would not be with us today. I am telling you right now for a straight up fact. Seriously, I cannot blame him or anybody else who does this. So apparently in Japan, this is kind of like a common thing. This isn't something new that people do. Yeah, people do it because it's simple. They can. It's their right and their choice. Some people who go after him for this don't seem to really want to understand or even try to understand. If you don't like it, whatever then, be that as it may. However, if you can't even understand why he's doing it, or if you most certainly don't want to, then honestly you don't really have any right to be talking about it whatsoever, because you're going to be talking out of your own ass over shit that you don't even know to begin with. At this point, when you decide to push somebody too damn far by insulting them, mocking them, treating them like shit, all because of their existence, then don't act surprised if they decide to pull an Akihiko Kondo and decide to focus on their passion and love for their favorite fictional character. Now for me, I can totally relate with Kondo with all this. Well, at least half of it. Like I said before, I've encountered shitty coworkers on my first job. Kondo's job, he had to only deal with bullying. For me, on the other hand, unfortunately, I had to deal with not only just bullying, but just straight up actual racism by racist scumbags, you know? Like actual, genuine racist people that got a problem with me based on what I look like. By one incident that I remember for a fact with one of those cowardly stray dogs calling me the N-word with the hard R behind my back. It's pretty fucked up and pretty evil, if you ask me. Now, not all of the coworkers there are racist, but at the same time, if you associate with those people, then I say you're a part of the cause. You are an accomplice to their shit, and you know exactly what you're doing. I had to deal with 3 years with their bullshit until they decided to let me go because they knew I wasn't gonna give in to their bullshit because they want me to be just as dumb as them, try to get me to join to their fucking cause, and I just decided to push back against their shit, and they couldn't even handle that fact. The reason why I was still there was because I am there to do one thing, and that is my fucking job. I don't give a shit about anything else other than doing my tasks and the job at hand. From here on out, the rest, ultimately, when it comes to the workplace, means nothing to me. And I mean it wholeheartedly. And now, I'm on to a point where I finally had enough of dealing with people's bullshit, and I decided enough is enough. I am not allowing anybody else in my life ever again. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're related to the same blood as me. Nothing and no one will make me change my mind with that. So, either you can respect my wishes and actually understand why I'm doing it, or move your ass on and stay in your own goddamn lane. Again, I'm talking about all this just to prove a point that people finally had enough of dealing with other people, and I can't blame anybody for it. And so, there will be different ways to focus on your life, and putting some passion and heart to a fictional character is one of those things. Obviously, there's going to be different strokes for different folks. Not everybody is going to literally go out of their way and take the whole definition of waifu material, literally. As much as I'd like Yulha, she doesn't even have any merchandise of her own, except for that one bootleg standee, which doesn't even look that great. And her eyes are closed in that, which, honestly, they really did her dirty with that one, not gonna lie. I'm going to say like it is for this one as well. Not everybody is going to want to get themselves into a real relationship. That's just not really the reality of the situation. And either by choice or because they have their own personal issues that they don't want anybody else to get involved, or some people just would rather prefer 2D over 3D, and again, I can totally understand why.
Oh, but Mr. N.M.P.D, it's really important to connect and socialize with real people. Humans are fragile creatures and need socializing.
Baloney. All I'm hearing is nothing more but baloney. No lettuce, no cheese, no tomatoes, nothing but baloney. Bullshit! Akihiko can be in love with Miku and still socialize with people pretty well. And I'm pretty sure he has friends of his own. Some good loyal ones at that. However, for me, I'm good without any of that shit, really. I've been fine without any of that since I was born. I can continue to be fine without any of that now. I've already made up my mind as soon as, you know, all that happened to me. I really don't find any of that meaningful in my life, to be honest with you. I've said it before in one of my older videos. Hell, I'll keep on saying it again if I have to make it very clear and crystal with what I'm against. And again, people just finally had enough dealing with other people's bullshit, and so they moved to different coping mechanisms, like Akihiko's, or another one, which is talking to AI chatbots. That's also another alternative for that. I mean, it is there, so why the fuck not, right? And people tend to use those things to lash out their frustrations, I guess, I don't know, or maybe roleplay for part of the lore or something. And if they use it because they're lonely, well, the AI chatbots treat them better than a real human being ever could. And obviously they know it's fake. They just do it because it is their free time and they can do what they want with it. Either way, again, if it doesn't hurt anybody, just let them be with that shit. However, if it is getting them into harm by not focusing on their responsibilities, or, you know, they somehow get into debt due to their obsession with their waifus, then yeah, we're gonna have a different story here. So at the end of the day, everyone is bound to have their unique way of living their own life. And Mr. Kondo's life is one of the hell of a many examples of living a unique kind of life. Sure, it might be a bit cringy. Sure, it might be sad, but at the end of the day, he's happy with it. You also need to understand and learn the fact that not everybody's gonna live the drone lifestyle like you. And not everybody's gonna want to join the snow dog zombie civilization you got going on. Well, hell, I sure don't. I'd rather be as far away from those crack shit cocaine zombies as far as possible. So with that said, that's gonna be the end of The Man Who Married Hatsune Miku. This project definitely took quite a few days in the making, and it's probably gonna take a little more due to the editing process of it. So I'm definitely gonna have fun with that. Yeah, man, I really wanted to look back at this topic to see how he's holding up now, which now he's currently still doing good, and he's still happily married to Hatsune Miku. So hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to leave a like, comment what you think down below, subscribe for more, and nuts to butts for life. I will see you guys next time.